Stack depth forms a mathematical constraint on the decisions which can be made in a hand of poker. After all, you can't bet 500 if you only have 100, and thus our entire strategic framework changes if the stack sizes involved in the hand change. The shortest of the stacks remaining in a hand is referred to as the effective stack. SPR stands for stack to pot ratio and refers to the relationship between the number of chips in the pot and the number of chips in your stack. It is almost always used specifically in post-flop scenarios. If there is $200 in the pot and $600 remaining in the effective stacks on the flop SPR is 3-to-1. This generally is considered a low SPR, while anything above 10-to-1 should be considered a high SPR. The majority of the most significant pots you'll play, however, will come at moderate SPRs, somewhere between 3-to-1 and 10-to-1. In developing a framework for ourselves to confidently adjust to changes in stack depth and post-flop SPR, we need to identify some key principles that can help us in pre-flop hand selection. Principle 1. The shallower the stacks, the closer we are to playing an all-in pot. Principle 2. The closer we are to being all-in, the lower our hand requirements for being all-in. Principle 3. Our pre-flop hand selection should reflect our all-in requirements. If our stack is 5 big blinds, we are going to be all-in anytime we play a hand. As a result, our equity will be realized no matter what happens. Therefore, we don't need to prioritize hands with suitedness or connectedness, only showdown value. As a consequence, a hand like King-8 offsuit is stronger at this stack size than a hand like 6-5 suited. If our stack is much deeper, for example 300 big blinds, we're almost never going to be all-in before the river.
As a consequence, we'll need a very strong hand on the river, like a flush or a full house, to put our whole stack in.
This means our pre-flop hand requirements should heavily favor hands that make these very strong river hands. Strong pairs, strong suited connectors, or suited broadways and suited aces. At stacks somewhere in between, we'll find our requirements will vary. Therefore, our pre-flop hand selection should be adaptive according to the situation. But it should always prioritize hands which possess as many as possible of the 3 fundamental properties of a hand. Again, showdown value, suitedness, and connectedness. The deeper the stacks become, the more criteria a hand must fulfill in order for us to justify playing it, particularly when we are out of position.